Hey guys, it's Nathaniel here, and on this video, for some reason, I don't know why I've done this, but I am going to show you everything that has allowed me to make over $400,000 a month. And I don't know why I'm showing you this, because this took me over 6 years to learn. It took me multiple businesses to get to this point, right? And it's something that I'm currently doing to make a lot of money online without having to post content, without a big brand, without having to sell myself to the fucking course creation gods, right? I just make a lot of money online. Now, this is the most money I've ever made online. I used to run a program called TrueCoin Online in 2023. It was the largest and fastest growing affiliate marketing program at that time. I made $5.5 million in 2023 from this program. But as we speak currently, the model and the thing that I'm going to be showing you is what has generated me the most money I've ever made in my entire life. Right? This is including real estate and physical businesses as well. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different because I'm not just going to be telling you what I do, but I'm actually going to be showing you what I do, right? So then maybe you can use this for yourself, right? Or if you've got your own business, you can see quite literally how to take your business from shit to fucking amazing. Right? Now, what I do is I partner with businesses, the biggest creators and the biggest businesses online, right? And I take care of the entire sales and operations part of the business. Right? You see this guy right here, the biggest fitness coach in the entire world? Yeah, I am the back end of his business. Right? You see this type form? I made that. Every CTA on his Instagram, I made that. The 10 plus sales reps that we have on his business, I manage that. Right? The money that we've literally tripled since working together, I've done that. The 260 book calls that we've done in 2 weeks, I did that. I don't get money up front. I don't ask for retainers. You don't need to pay me 10 grand. I work off results, meaning I only get paid a percentage of the money that I bring in, right? Because I trust in my ability, and it also is good for the other business when working with me because they know that I'm not just gonna kind of fuck around. They know that I'm actually gonna get results. This is how I make over $400,000 a month. Now, this is a creator that I started working with back in December. Now, he had no offer, no anything, right? As you can see, he's got no followers. He literally has jack shit, right? So I came in, I created everything, and within 6 days we did over $46,000 in cash collected. So money in the pocket, and we did about $60,000 to $70,000 in contracts in that 6 day period from literally zero. Okay, and I'm actually going to be showing you exactly what I do when I work with these businesses, how I make them money, and how I make a lot of money as well. This is about to be the best video that you've ever seen on the fucking internet. Let's get into it. Now, as we can see here, Fxcarlos. Now, the three things that I focus on when building or scaling a brand new business is foundation, launch, and sustainability. Okay, now these are a couple of the payments that I get from people like this, okay? And this was also a payment that we collected working with him. Now, the first thing that we need to talk about is foundation, right? The biggest problem that businesses have, right? Even the people that maybe are like this, right, before I start working with them, is that they might get the views, they might get the, the crazy engagement, they might be going viral every 2 days. But the foundation for that is so bad to where they can't utilize those leads properly, or their back end falls apart, or like a lot of day traders, they have to open their Discord for 2 weeks, then close it, then open it, then close it, right? The foundation is just extremely bad. So what I do, right, the first thing when I actually join a business is I don't just be like, okay, let's fucking scale off the rip. I'd be like, okay, how can we build a foundation that can actually withstand the scale and the views and the engagement that we are going to get? The first thing that I touch on is the offer, right? Will people look at the offer and think, wow, I need this product? You'll find that a lot of businesses are extremely bland with the offer that they have. I help people lose weight. I help you learn how to trade. Or the classic one, I help you become profitable. Or I'll help you make 10K a month. Right? How many other people are doing that exact same thing? So if you're on a business, maybe think about diversifying it. And if you're going to work with a business and do what I do, right, make sure you change the offer, right, to create a new offer that when people look at it, they're like, wow, that's new, right? I want to buy into that. Okay. So before his offer was, I help traders. And then his offer became, I help traders become profitable in 45 days using the Holy Grail method, right? So do you see how much more depth we added to the offer, right? That's the key word that I'm going to be using a lot throughout this video, is just depth, right? A lot of the things that people have, so the offers or the applications or the landing pages or the VSLs or whatever, it's extremely surface level shit, right? But you got to realize a lot of people are doing surface level shit. Now, the logic behind the offer is you always want to be one step ahead. Most traders offer a 80 to 180 day guarantee, right? So you might not say, I'm going to help you become profitable, but you might say, I'm going to help you become profitable in 180 days, right? That's what a lot of people automatically do when I tell them to fix their offer. 180 days, 90 days, blah, 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 right? But the main reason that we went with 45 days, apart from having a stronger guarantee, right, is that this strategy also allows us to make a lot more money, right? Because you need to think about it. It's not just a guarantee. Again, it's very, like, people think about it very surface level, but let's actually get smart about this for a second, right? When you offer a 180 day guarantee, that means that you have to wait 180 days to then try and sell them again, right? Or downsell them or whatever you need to do. While the competitors are making money every 180 days, we're making money every 45 days, right? So it's not just a guarantee thing, right? Because obviously 45 is better than 180, right? So more people are going to join, but we're also making a lot more money in the short term, right? And the long term, right? Because in the time span of them doing 180, we've already done like fucking 4 45 day people. We're literally making quadruple the amount of money as everyone else. So when you're making your offer, be strategic about the offer that you're making in terms of what's the guarantee and what's the offer for them, but also, okay, how much money are you going to be able to collect, okay? The next is product. We needed something different, right? Something valuable. Previously, Carlos, he wasn't selling anything except for courses, right? So he was selling a Discord and a course, right? But we don't want to do that, right? So here's what we did. Now, this is where you guys are going to get so much value. If you ask most traders what they sell, it's always the same thing, a course and a Discord community. I wanted to create something that not only showed the quality, but also justified charging a premium price, right? Because at the end of the day, if you want to make money, then charge more. And everyone can do it, but a lot of the times that we subconsciously hold ourselves back because we know that the value of our program isn't actually worth the amount that we're charging, right? So how do you charge more? You increase the value of your program. Since price is perceived based on value, okay, so for example, if I go to Gucci, there's a $500 black shirt. If I go to my local store, that same shirt is $5. Right, but because I think this one's more valuable, because the quality is better, I'm then going to justify spending the $500, right? So price is only justified of value. If people don't see the value, then they won't buy it. But if there is a lot of value, right, you might think, okay, this value is only worth $150, but if there's just a lot in that program, you could probably sell 5, 10 grand, right? Which is exactly what we do. So originally, he was selling each course at about $600. So what I did was I actually combined 2 of the courses, okay? And then I added in a Slack community, and then I also included coaching on top of that. So he didn't have to make anything new. This is the kicker, right? He had 3 courses that he had previously sold. I told him, instead of just coming up with a new course every time, why don't you combine 2 of the courses, add a community on it, and then add a couple group calls. So now it's a coaching model. Now you can charge premium pricing. He's not had to do anything new. We've just combined the things that he already had, right? And by doing that, we increased the value and then the perceived value and then increased the price, okay? So we transformed just a course and a Discord to a one-on-one coaching program that includes course access and private community. Do you see how much the value has been increased? And here's what it looks like, right? So we have the courses here, right? and I just combined them into this one big motherfucker, right? And we literally called it the holy grail of courses. And a lot of you guys can do this as well, right? Combine what you have, whether you have a ton of digital products, whether you have a lot of guides, right? Instead of selling it individually, where the value was minimal between each thing, why don't you package it together and now the value is more? It's like Apple, right? Individually, an iPad is 1,000, a pen is 100, AirPods are 150. But when you combine it, the value is just insane and you're a lot more likely to spend a lot more money. But the next thing that we did, which is probably the most important, is the sales team. This is what sets us apart from people that are doing 20K a month, right? The sales team is the most important part of the process because that's how you make money, okay? So first I'm gonna show you the sales process and then I'm going to show you the sales team. Everything starts out the video. Okay, so all the sales process is, if we dumb it down, is what's the route, or how do people go from watching your video to buying your product, right? That is what a sales process is. And my job when I work with these businesses and these influencers and creators, whatever, is I try and make the sales process as easy, as simple, but as high quality as possible. Okay, so the sales process always starts out the video. That's when someone just starts watching you, right? That's when you now have a lead. So the first part of the process is watching you. Okay, they've just become a lead. The second part is we want to get them into the DMs. The only thing that I focus on to make a lot of money is getting people into the DMs, right? That way my appointment setter, so one of my sales reps, can have a conversation and build a relationship with that person. If you go and message Iman Ghazi, Alex Hormozi, Alex Becker, Layla Hormozi, or your favorite influencer right now, and you get a response back, 99% of the time you're not talking to that person, you're talking to an appointment setter. Then we book them in for a call, and then on that call, again, we've got more salespeople. They are going to be taking the calls for us. Okay, so for this guy right here, we have about 8 appointment setters and about 5 closers. Right? So before we started working together, he was doing everything. Now, he literally doesn't do anything, right? The DMs are getting handled. The calls are getting taken. The process is taken care of. So now he's just making money every single morning. You can do the exact same thing as well. So we had 2 appointment setters handling the DMs, messaging people as Carlos, okay? We had 3 experienced sales closers taking the calls, which allowed us to charge more. Because before, right, it was him. He was the one having the conversation with people. And he's not good at sales. And if you are a business owner, you're probably not good at sales either. But you don't have to be, right? You are perfectly fine being good at what you are good at. But you need to realize is that you can only do so much at your level, right? So when I come into these businesses, right, we always, to be honest with you, instantly increase price, right? Setters are normally on about a 5% commission of every single person that they book in and then gets closed. And then the closers are typically on about 8 to 10% of every single deal that they close as well. We went from charging $600 to $8,000, and after paying the team, right? So after paying the people that do all the DMs and actually take the phone calls, the offer owner, Carlos, was left with $6,800. Carlos literally made 6.8 grand and he didn't do a fucking thing, right? Next thing is automations. This is also important because this is what's probably going to save you the most time and is also going to make your business feel like an actual working business. For every partner I work with, I create a Slack channel for me and my team. When I work with these people, I am in charge of the entire sales and operations, meaning that for all the salespeople, I do all the hiring, I do all the training, and I manage them, right? So I create a Slack channel for me and my team, and this is what it would typically look like, right? So it's got the Calendly, client acquisition, closed deals, EOD, Fxcarlos, general chat and payments, right? Just very standard shit. And a couple of the automations that we have is successful payments. Every single time that there is a successful payment, right, that'll then get automated into the chat and it'll look exactly like this. That way, me and the offer owner, we can see that they're making a lot of money And then the people that are actually on the calls, they can also get confirmed if someone does actually buy. So every single time someone purchases, we get an instant notification, and it is the most gorgeous thing ever. Right? The second thing that we get notified is if there is a failed payment. Again, as you can see here, right? This way our closers that are on the call, right? They can tell, yep, that was a failed payment, let's try again. And then I can also see on my end, just in case we need to make any tweaks. On top of that, we also automate the booking of the calls and the cancellation of the calls, right? So every single time someone books a call, right? It tells us, and it also tells us the name of the person that's booked. And every single time someone cancels, right, we can see, okay, yep, they canceled. This is the email of the person that did cancel. And then we can also see, did they reschedule or did they just straight up cancel and leave? And this is just like the bare minimum of the automations that we actually put into these businesses. That way we can create an extremely easy environment, right, and a very streamlined process. The next thing is price. Now we have something of real value. We can go from charging an average of 600 to 2K to 6,000 to 8,000. Okay, and that's exactly what we did. You might hear a lot that, okay, just charge prices, you'll make more, which it is logistically true, right? But the truth is a lot of you guys can't charge more, right? Or you shouldn't charge more because of the value just isn't there, right? So people just won't buy it. The next thing is social media. Before we started working together, he looked like everyone else selling a trading service, right? Showing off cars, doing money spreads. So what I focused on was making sure that he came across as premium, right? A lot of people get jumbled in all together, right? Because they all want to come across as the typical trader that makes a lot of money, showing off the cars and things like that. But I've actually found that you make a lot more money being a little bit more professional, having a little bit of like a subtle flex every now and then, right? But not forcing it onto people, right? So the first thing that we did, and it sounds so stupid, I got him to change his profile picture. Now, before working together, he was sitting on a red Lamborghini, I think it was, and it was extremely bad quality. The photo was very far away, but the only reason it was there was because he was on a Lamborghini. Right? But we just don't want to come across like that, because if we want to sell higher ticket, so higher price, we need to come across as quality. I told him do two things. I said, sit in your car and be chill. People love it when someone is good at something, but so nonchalant about it, right? Because at the end of the day, people are only going to buy from you or take your advice if they can resonate with you. So if you're out here sitting on your Bugatti, you're probably going to get people buying for the wrong reasons, which might be why some of you guys could be getting a lot of refunds or a lot of complaints, right? We want people to buy for the right reasons, so we got him to change his profile picture. The next thing we did was we completely changed his Instagram bio. Now, a lot of people underestimate the power of the fucking bio, right? And you'll even see here, so we've got the offer, we have a bit of an authority line, and then we've got a CTA and then a link. You'll see that even for this guy, I've done basically the same thing, right? Offer, CTA, and then link. Because what did I tell you earlier? We are optimizing for DMs, right? And people will not do something unless you tell them to. So everyone watching this, like the video right now, right? Or comment, right? Comment right now, right? Tell me that you commented from this part of the video, right? I've just told you to do it, so please do it. Right? But because I told you to do it, you're more inclined to do it. If I didn't tell you to do it, you would just keep watching the video. Right? So it's the same with this. If we tell them to message us a word in the DMs, they're a lot more likely to get into the DMs. That way now our appointment setters can do their job and have a conversation with them and book them in for a call. Right? The second one is the authority. Broke to million, it's just a subtle flex. Right? Just a little bit of an authority line. And then the last part, which is DMing the word mentor. Again, like I mentioned, it is extremely important to have a CTA. And then the link. Okay, do not have 5 links. Do not have 10, right? A massive reason why people just struggle to buy from you is because they don't know how. Something that I learned very early on is that when you want to make a lot of money building a business like this, right, and making a lot of money with these creators, is you don't think about what can you add, you think about what can you take away. Every iPhone that comes out, they're not saying, okay, what can we put in? They're saying, what can we take out? right? How can we make it lighter, faster, better, with less material, right? How can I make the user experience better, right? When you get a phone and you look at it, right? It's fucking the iPhone 25. You're thinking, fuck, this shit's gonna be insane. It's gonna have all these new apps. You go into it and it's the same shit than the last model, just better, right? And people keep buying it. So you do not need more. You do not need to be adding more. Subtract, 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 right? And you'll make a lot of money. The next thing is the landing page, right? As you can see, the link in the bio leads to a landing page. The purpose of this landing page is to do two things: qualify and book calls. That's it, okay? So this is a VSL, a virtual sales letter. It's basically just a video on your landing page, right? And in that video, you're going to be saying your offer, you're going to be telling people what they're going to get, you're going to be showing your results, right? And then right here is going to be a button that people can click onto, and then they are going to go through a type form. So this exact same thing that I'm now showing you, right? So this type form will then be in this button. They're going to fill out that application, right? And if they are qualified at the end of that application, they're then going to get booked in for a call, which your closers are then going to take, okay? As you can see the process right here, right? And then all of these things right here are client results. That is all you need, right? You do not need your location, your story, your morals. No one gives a fuck about you. No one gives a shit. Fuck you. No one cares, right? They only care about what you can do for them. And again, subtract, 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 okay? A lot of you guys be fucking up everything for yourself because you be doing too much. Now, the next thing is selling assets, right? Ever done this? Right? You're on the call and you're selling someone. Yep, my program's $5,000. Oh, you don't have $5,000? Okay, I can get you in for $3,000. You don't have $3,000? Okay, I'll get you in for 1.5 grand. You can't do that? I can't help you then. Hang up. He's broke. Right? How many times have you done that? Right? You've offered them the payment, then the split payment, and then they don't have it, and then you leave them. Right? We don't want to do that. And I used to do that. When I was running one of my own offers a couple of years ago, I realized I was jumping on a lot of calls with people that didn't have the money that I was wanting, but I was letting them go. And I sat there and I realized one day, how much money am I actually leaving behind? Right? Because this guy said he's got 50, hung up. This guy's got 150, hung up. 500, hung up. Fucking, I'm hanging up on everyone like I've got this big ego, right? Like I'm acting like $100 isn't any money. Fuck yeah, $100 is a lot of money, especially when it compounds. So here's what we do, right? We make a selling asset. Now, this is all you need to do. If you are selling a course, okay, so you might be selling a coaching program or whatever, but if you have some sort of course, I want you to duplicate the course that you have. Or if you're going to work with a business, do this for them. Duplicate the course. And then take things out of the course. Take out a couple videos, take out the community, take out the one-on-one coaching. Now, you've essentially got this digital product that you can sell 1,000,000 times and there is nothing that you need to do. That's what I use. And you know what I call it? I call it the fuck you course. Yeah, the fuck you course. What this means is, it means I'm going to get every single person into this course. I don't care if they've got $5 or $100, right? Now, I'm being so serious, right? This $50 payment, this took the closer 1.5 hours to close. I actually found that the people that get into this course actually end up buying the main program in a couple of weeks anyway. Because by that point, they're like, wow, this guy's helped me so much. I've got so much value. I've saved up a bit of money now. Let me buy the main product, right? So instead of you just kicking people off, get them into the program, pre-sell them, and they're going to come back and buy the bigger program anyway, right? So these are all of the things that I did, right, when it came to the foundation of making Carlos 36 grand in 6 days. And for every other person that I work with, this is the foundation that I follow. Now, the second thing is launch. Now, this is very simple now, because now we've got a foundation that is fucking godlike. Launch. After the foundations are set, focus on the launch. If you're not launching anything new, the launch won't be necessary. So if you haven't just built a new product and you're doing a new launch, this part's irrelevant to you. But if you have just created a new offer or a new business where you're doing a launch, this is going to be important. About a week before we do the launch, we tell essentially everyone, so their Instagram story, their community, their coaching members, whoever they have, their email list, we just essentially tell them that there is a big thing coming, right? In short words. We don't be pushy, we let the value speak for itself. Okay, so on the community, we make an announcement. On Instagram, we make an announcement. And then also we get the appointment setters to kind of soft launch people inside of the DMs as well. But something that we do also do is we do collect emails. Now, this is something that we did for this guy, and we collected, I want to say, only about 250 emails in a very short period. And we had so many qualified book calls, right? It was insane. So something that you can do is I just went over to Kajabi, right? And I just made a form. And this is all it said. Big drop incoming. Sign up if you want to be the first to know. Name and email. That's it, right? That is literally it. So when it comes to the pre-launch, this is all you do. You tease them, you tease them, you tease them. Soft launch, collect their emails, and then we go from there. Step 2 is to ensure that each post and email leading up to the launch serves a specific purpose. For example, to get more specific, here is our 7-day pre-launch. We do email and story. So the first day is sending out an email and posting a story. And all we're doing is essentially teasing that there's something big coming, right? We don't give a date. We don't tell them what they're getting, right? Because you got to realize if you've provided value before, or even if you've just posted content, people probably look up to you and they get excited. Day 2, email a persuasive message, sharing your story to build relatability. And then on your story, so your Instagram story, you share a couple student results. Nothing more, nothing less, right? So as for the email, we don't want every email to be hard selling like what a lot of people do. Big thing coming out. Here's what it is. Buy it. It's only $5,000. No, right? The whole process is to be persuasive and psychologically sell them without actually selling them. So for day 2, we create that relatability. For example, let's say I'm a trader. I'll say something like 3 years ago, right? It was a dark, stormy night. I wasn't making any money. I tried everything under the sun, but nothing worked. I finally bet on myself. And here I am, XYZ, XYZ. Okay, you're not selling them. Don't pitch them anything. You're just telling them a little bit about your story, inspiring them, because people buy from people that they relate to. Day 3, no emails. Instead, ramp up your reels. So what this means is you don't need to do an email on this day. You don't need to post a story. Just start posting reels, right? But just value reels. You'll realize that leading up to this launch, we don't talk about the product really at all, right? Or at least not until we get to the end, right? It's more just giving value because that's what they buy off. The selling tactics that you use, they don't buy because of that. They buy because they see the value. Day 4, email and story, share more details about the launch, right? So this is where we will start saying, oh, this launch is about to be insane. Unlike my past launches, we're going to have a couple other things. You know, I wasn't meant to do this, but I'm going to share a couple of the things that's going to be inside of the course, right? Give a little bit of a spoiler, get them a little bit excited, right? And you do this for day 4. Day 5, email, inspire and motivate. People don't just want change, they need it, right? So that's just an example of what inspiring is, right? No hard selling, make them feel like they need this before the product drops. That's the whole key throughout all of this. We don't sell, we want to make people feel like they need the thing that we're selling, right? Because the less you actually sell it, the more people want it. Cool, right? Day 6, email and story, announce the launch date. Right, so right now it's on day 6 and launch is on day 8. Right, so now we're saying, all right, launch is on the 15th. You guys are the first people to know. I'm super excited, right? Make sure you put it on your calendar, just now they know the day. And as well on your story, make sure that you are building a bit of urgency, right? Showing a couple client results and past results and things like that. Day 7, pre-launch, right? Email a breakdown of the offer, right? So this is where you now say, okay, this is what you're actually going to be getting. So the day before was telling people when the offer actually is, and now the day after, we're telling people what's actually inside. Day 8 is launch day. This is where you email the final push. This is where you put a CTA on your stories. And then this is when you tell your appointment setters to start having sales conversations now, rather than like pre-selling conversations. Okay, so about until day 5, it's all just value, hype. A bit of like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. And then about day 6, it's just hard, like, this is what it is, this is when it is, this is what you're gonna be getting, these are the client results, etc. Okay? So that is just how a launch goes. It's pretty simple. Step 3, create a 10-minute VSL, right? A virtual sales letter, okay? Or a video sales letter on YouTube. A video designed solely to sell without feeling like a sales pitch. What this video should include is client results, a breakdown of your offer, and proof of the deliverables and the results that you have. We're going to send them this video. Every time someone books a call, we send them the video and we say something like, thank you so much for booking. Leading up to the call, right, feel free to watch this video because it's got a ton of value, right? That way you can ask us even more questions when you see us in a couple days, right? And here's the job. They're going to watch this video. They're going to learn about your offer. They're going to learn about your results. They're going to learn about your program. They're going to pre-sell themselves, right? That way we're not getting the same objections on the calls, and our sales calls turns into enrollment calls. And as well, what this is doing is they're going to watch one video, then another video, then another video, then another video. They're just going to be constantly watching these videos, which is going to pre-sell them on you, right? Or the person that you're doing this for. This is how you make a lot of money. It's these little things, right? And you realize it's not so much hard selling, but it's more pre-selling, right? And psychologically selling that really does the job. Step 4 is sales training. The backbone of your entire operation is your sales team, right? So when you onboard your appointment setter or your closers, it's extremely important that you do and give them training. So what this looks like is reviewing the appointment setters' DMs that they've sent out to make sure that they're doing everything correctly. And then with that, listening to the call recordings of the closers, right? Every single team that I manage, my CSO on my team, right? So my head of sales actually has daily meetings with the entire sales team every single day. Right, so this is why I can come into a creator's business like this and absolutely skyrocket in such a small amount of time. Because unlike a lot of you guys, where you might only be talking to your sales team a couple of days a week, I'm talking to them every single day. Because I know that when you are on the front lines as a salesperson, you're constantly getting questions that you don't know how to handle. You're constantly fucking up, you're making mistakes, right? What I focus on is, okay, we had a 30% show up rate this week. Let's go to 60% next week. And the only way you can do that is by actually training your sales team. So by now, what we've done is the entire foundation of this business. We have also done the launch of this business. Now we are doing the sustainability, right? This is something that you will not see online because people don't give a shit for some reason. A lot of the guys that you watch that make money, they focus on launching, okay, making 20, 40 grand and then fucking off. I focus on hitting 100 grand and then doing 150, 200, 250, right? This is why I work with clients for an extremely long time. Unlike a lot of these growth operators that only work with someone for a couple of weeks, I'm working with the same person for years, right? Because I'm actually providing some sort of value. Step 1. Raise your standards, never lower them. Lowering your standards for 1 or 2 people means that you're disrespecting the effort of everyone else. Hold the bar high, because the moment you lower it, you're throwing the work of the people that have actually put in effort right back into their face. The least talked about thing, but the most important, is your leadership. Once you bring salespeople onto your team, you are now a team. Like, you're no longer alone, right? This is why a lot of businesses and creators crash and burn. Either their leadership is bad or their growth operator, their leadership is bad as well, because they've never built anything of significance. Before working with these guys, I had already built about 3 7-figure businesses. And by that point, I had already worked with about 4,000 to 5,000 people, right? So my leadership skills are pretty decent. And especially because I manage a team of an 8-figure business now, right? But for you guys, leadership is extremely important, because the way that you lead a team will either grow the business or break the business, right? So always raise the standards of your team, never lower them, right? Focus on excellence over perfection, because nothing that you want is going to be perfect ever, right? I want you to focus on speed and prioritize moving fast rather than trying to focus on something for 5 years, right? Because the only way that I'm able to make a lot of money for these guys is everything that I do, but I do it very, very quickly. You only need to be right 20% of the time. Like, that's it. You only need to be right 20% of the time to build a really fucking successful business. But the problem is that you're so scared to fail even at least a little bit, right? This is why if you can just focus on being successful or correct just 20% of the time, you're gonna make so much more money. The key to long-term success is optimizing the environment that you are in for growth. And that starts with the leadership. The business will only ever be as strong as its weakest team member. Now, step 2 to sustainability is the training, right? Training equals business growth. If you want your business to grow, your people in your team also need to grow, right? A business will never outgrow its sales reps, so invest into their training. Okay, again, you'll find a very common thing I'm talking about is the team, right? Because you realize that when you're trying to build something that makes a lot of money, having the team at the best that they can be is extremely important. Now, why sales teams fail and how you can fix it. A common mistake is that salespeople aren't getting the training that they need to succeed. And this leads to a bad environment, repeating mistakes, poor communication, and low long-term value or long-term lifespan per sales rep that we bring on, right? Which means that if it's low, you might be getting a new sales rep every 2 weeks, right? And it's probably because of these 3 things. How I fix this: on every offer that I go onto, I do daily calls with every single sales rep forever. As long as I'm working on that offer and I'm working with that team, I'm having daily calls with them. It doesn't matter if it's the weekend, whatever, I am talking to them and helping them every single day. Closers and setters have separate daily calls as well. And then at the end of the week, we have one big group call with the closers and the appointment setters, right, to make sure that everyone is aligned. Most businesses don't respect or invest into their salespeople, which is why they fail. A quick tip is it's always your fault. Okay, bad hire, that's on you. Reps aren't improving, that's on you. Mistakes are happening, that's on you. A business will never be better than its sales team, and a sales team will never be better than the leadership behind it. Step 3, weekly calls with the offer owner, right? So now I'm talking a little bit about the offer owner now. If you want an actual sustainable relationship, right, there should never ever be a point in your relationship with the person that you're working with where they have to ask you what's happening. Oh, hey Nathaniel, have you done this yet? Or hey Nathaniel, this is a mistake. No, you always want to be that one step ahead, right? So every single day I have daily communication with the person that I'm working with, but every single week I jump on a call where I'll actually show him or her a presentation of everything that happened in the week, what we're working on, and what next week is going to look like as well. That way there is no second guessing and everybody knows exactly what they need to be doing. Become irreplaceable through value. Provide as much value as possible consistently, right? Keep showing up and proving that you're valuable. That way they need you. Most people I work with end up begging me to stay, right? Because they see the difference that I make. I mean, hopefully you guys can already see the value that I bring, right? Just by a couple of the things that I've said, right? I am essentially literally becoming the backbone of their business. I grow their business by 500%. I'm booking their calls. I'm managing their salespeople, right? I am the one generating all of the sales for this business, right? But if you come in and you can't provide that value, then that's when there's going to be churn, and that's when you're just going to get kicked off the offer. Step 6, daily communication equals long-term success. I briefly just mentioned this. You can't just disappear, okay? The truth is that you need to be keeping up with the person that you're working with daily and weekly and monthly, because communication is extremely important, right? Think about this as a relationship with your fucking girlfriend, right? If you don't talk to this person for a day, they're going to start asking questions. It's the same with this. Every offer owner or business is essentially now your girlfriend, right? So treat it that way. Value the relationship and provide as much value to it, right? Because I strongly believe that if you can actually provide value to the relationship that you're in, right, what you're doing is giving them no other choice than to stay with you, okay? I've done it for these guys as well, right? So this guy, he has about 5 of my sales reps that I've trained, and he did over $550,000 in the first 65 days. We've got CoachBluee, right? We booked over 270 calls in just the first 2 weeks. Plus, we increased his revenue by over 450%. A marketing agency that we also worked with, we took them from $4 million a month to over $8 million a month, right? And this is just an extremely small portion of the people that we've worked with. And again, we've also done this for Fxcarlos, took him from $0 to $46,000 in just a span of 6 days. I'm the best at this. I get the best results. I get the quickest results, and I stand on that because of my experiences and because of the amount of fucking money. We generated over $54 million last year. Yeah, that's what we do. All right, so I'll catch these guys on the next video. Peace out.